Good day, YouTube modeling community. And once again, welcome to another episode of Apple Pie Time with your host, myself, Moparmodeler. Today, it will be short. I just want to talk about a discovery that I made, which is kind of odd when you consider that I'm a big Mopar guy and into models, but I'll be honest with you, this particular model here, the Diora show truck. I've had this kit probably, I don't know, since it came out in this configuration. It says 2001, so I've had this kit since 2001 more than likely. The Diora show car. I don't know why I bought it, because it really doesn't do anything for me. It's not something that I'm really interested in building or messing around with. But I'm one of those guys, if I see a kit I don't have, and especially if it's Mopar related, I'll buy it. But what I found interesting in it is I knew it had a Slant Six, but I never paid attention or really looked at the Slant Six that comes in this kit. And although there are better Slant Sixes and other kits, such as if you go and you look into the Lindbergh, and I know I've said mean things about Lindbergh, but this is a really awesome kit, and they have a Plymouth kit, a Belvedere kit that's also really good. This kit comes with a Slant Six as well, and the Slant Six in that 64 Dodge is a really, really wonderful Slant Six. I mean, it's very well detailed. It builds out to be a beautiful Slant Six. And here's the tree for that one. It comes in two pieces, and you can build a whole engine without the transmission. So if you wanted to put it on an engine stand or something, it's really cool. But it has all the pieces separate. Even the fuel pump is separated from the water pump and everything. And this here's the timing cover and all that. It's a really wonderful kit to have. It's awesome. This Slant Six that you have here, but it depicts the more modern, late 70s, early 80s Slant Sixes that most of us are familiar with. And being a Mopar guy, I do keep up with some of the folklore and legends of Mopars, and one of them is the aluminum block Slant Sixes. Some people say that they never existed, but in reality they did. In fact, Chrysler had full intentions of the Slant Six always being aluminum. And the cast iron ones that we're used to was the fallback on motor in case the aluminum Slant Sixes didn't pan out. Well, unfortunately, they didn't pan out. Chrysler was only able to put out maybe 50,000 of them. And, and that was mostly because, manufacturing issues with aluminum. Back then, they weren't, set up or very familiar with casting aluminum blocks of anything. And when I say back then, I'm talking about 1962, 63. So, but starting in 1957 is when Chrysler decided to start, how can I put it, not building, but started designing the Slant Six. And the original designs were to be that it was to be a aluminum block. And the ones that did make it to the consumer, unfortunately, because back in the 60s, and even in the 70s, most of us, when we didn't worry about antifreeze in our cars, we just put in water from the water hose. And, that led to corrosion of the aluminum in the engine. And it would corrode, obviously, the inside of the motor, thinning out the area where the gaskets were, and a lot of times it would blow gaskets. And then when you would take them apart, they were corroded beyond a point of repair. The insides were just corroded too much. Nowadays we have aluminum blocks, but we've learned, and it's common that we put antifreeze in. We don't just squirt water in there from the water hose anymore. Those days are gone. Anyway, I'm talking about that because I own an aluminum block Slant Six. I got really lucky in finding it on eBay, or I should say, a popular internet auction site. But I found it and was able to, win the bid and have it shipped to me for under $600. That's a deal. And it wasn't just a block, it was pretty much a short block, meaning the pistons were there, it was all together, it was just missing the head and the starter and stuff like that. But my idea, my plan is to eventually one day, rebuild it, mildly, not some super fast, crazy thing, but to put the engine back together and get it running and put it in my 1972 Plymouth Satellite. And my Plymouth Satellite is rare in the sense that it was manufactured with a Slant Six in it. Unfortunately, the Slant Six in it is not the original Slant Six. In fact, that the Slant Six in it now came out of an A body, and you can tell that by looking at the VIN number on the motor, that it came out of an A body. And where the original motor is, I don't know. If I had the original motor and could rebuild it and put it in there, that would really be killer. That would be something. And that would be awesome. Because it being a rare car, I think when I had research done on it, there were only 3 cars produced in my body color with a Slant Six, and that was a bare bones car. I mean, I've always thought about building a plastic model of my car, and I thought how wonderful it would be if I could take the time and create an aluminum block Slant Six in 1/24 and 1/25 scale, because that would be really, really cool. And most people are not interested in Slant Sixes, so no one really pays attention to what kits have them inside of them. And I did know of the Aurora show truck, although I never really looked into it. And I knew of the Lindbergh series. There's of the Belvedere and the Dodge 330, and I had never really looked inside to see what the Slant Six looked like in the Aurora. And when I finally did, lo and behold, it depicts an aluminum block Slant Six. I know this because I have a real aluminum block sitting in my garage, the real deal. And one way you could tell is here on the sides of the motors. You see the cylinder lines. You actually see the ribs of the cylinders, on both sides. One side is not as deep, the other side is a lot deeper. Also, the placement of the oil filter and a few things is this does depict an aluminum block Slant Six from the 60s. That is cool, because now I have a basis that I can make, a Slant Six block. And I'll probably get a couple more of these Aurora kits, because what I'll end up doing is separating the transmission from the block, making the block one whole piece, and just working with it to try to make it more detailed. Like the starter here, I'll remove the starter and fill in the hole, and make a separate starter. Just make it more detailed, more like this Slant Six that you see here. And again, I have to say, this is such a beautiful rendition of the Slant Six. But when you look here on this one, you see there's no ribs depicting the cylinders. It's smooth with a few lines in it, but they look completely different. If you look at them closely, they are shaped different. And the reason being is this depicts an aluminum block Slant Six. And that, I'm just tickled that it does. I mean, to me, that's cool beans. And I know that Big Pa's Garage is in the process of resin casting a Slant Six. I'm assuming it's just the regular run-of-the-mill Slant Six. Ross Gibson, he has a Slant Six with the what do you call it, I can't think of it, with the, see, I'm drawing a blank and I should know, with the cross, not the cross ram, but the ram there, I don't know. See, when I'm done with the video, I'll think of what it's called. But with the fancy race 4-barrel intake that goes, it's crazy. But so there are, I know of one for sure resin example of the Slant Six, but it's not an aluminum block. It's the other one. So this video is already too long for an apple pie time. I like to keep these short and sweet, so you guys know what's happening with me and that I still love everybody and I'm not mad at anyone. As Hunter Shelby said in his last video, I'm not mad at anyone. It's just been real busy around here. And I believe him, because that's how it is here with me. So anyway, a toast to all my friends out there. A traditional apple pie time. A toast to you guys. I hope everything's going well. I hope the weather gets nice soon so we all can get to doing what we want to do. And that we are all healthy and happy. So with that. Ooh. That's some good stuff. So, with that, good day. God bless.